Hey y'all, this is Crystal. Welcome back to the channel. It's that time of the week. It's the time for the weekly reading update. So let's just, talk about what I read last week. Had a pretty good week last week, honestly. Let's see, today's Saturday we are getting prepared for some wintry weather to hit us tomorrow here in North Carolina. So we braved Walmart this morning to pick up some essentials, snacks and stuff, because we're preparing to be, snowed in for a couple of days. Iced in, really. We're expecting a little bit of snow, but really a lot of ice, more so, which is not as fun as snow. But that's kind of what we usually get here. Just hoping the power doesn't go out. That stinks, but... So just prepping for that, and of course I have Monday off for the holidays. I'm hoping to get some good reading done this weekend. Maybe a little stitching done. I've not picked up a single cross stitch this month yet. I don't know, I've just been wanting to read. So let's get going with what I got myself into last week. Finished up some audiobooks, and I finished up some good stuff last week. I ended up working from home all of last week because of a COVID case in the office. It's like everybody's getting COVID now, so I've only been going in Wednesdays and Thursdays. But last week, or this past week, I was home all 5 days, so I had some extra audiobook time. So first up, I finished the first 21. How I Became Nikki Sixx by Nikki Sixx. I had this as a hold from the library for the audiobook, narrated by Nikki Sixx himself, and it was good. I'm a sucker for like celebrity memoir. I just really am, and especially when it's someone that maybe I used to just absolutely love, or just whatever. I'm just interested in their story, And I had previously read his Heroine Diaries. I read that several years ago, and that was good too. So in this book, it like the title is the first 21. It talks about the first 21 years of his life. So we go back to his childhood, his growing up, through his teen years, how he got into music, and those early days of LA on the Sunset Strip, and then forming Motley Crue, and it was super interesting. And I like Nikki Sixx. I don't know. I still think he's so cool. He was like major middle school crush for me back in the day. I just thought he was the bee's knees, and there's just still something about him. I just still like him. And so if you're, of course, a Motley Crue fan or Nikki Sixx fan, you'll like this. And if you like celebrity memoirs, it's fun. It's a fun one. It's short and yeah, it's good. So I enjoyed my time with it. So yeah, it was a good one. Let's see. Then, my book is falling. Then I picked up another audiobook because I had nothing but time this week. And I finished up The Gunslinger by Stephen King. As you know, I'm kind of slowly making my way through this series this year with a little book club I have. So why not start with book one? I've got a couple of versions of this. I've got this really old one and I have a newer one. And I'm glad I have both because I guess the text has been updated by King. So this will have the old bits and this will have the new bits. The audiobook I listened to was fantastic. It was narrated by George Waddell. And his voice reminded, I don't know if I've ever listened to an audiobook by him before, but his voice reminded me of Al Swearingen from Deadwood. If y'all ever, any other Deadwood fans, did you watch Deadwood? He sounded like Al Swearingen, which was actually perfect for The Gunslinger because this is sort of a western-y type fantasy story. Overall, I enjoyed The Gunslinger. I don't really know what's going on still, though. I'm left with a lot of questions and still a little confused about this world and what's going on, what's what, but I'm definitely intrigued enough to keep going with the series, which is good. I'm interested in this gunslinger, and who he is, what's he about, this man in black. Yeah, I'm intrigued. The first book definitely has pulled me in, and so I can't wait to continue on with the series throughout the year and see where this goes, because I'm definitely intrigued, which is good. Sometimes you just don't ever know, right? Because I've never heard mixed things about Gunslinger. So anyway, so overall that was pretty good. And then I pulled up another audiobook. This was my middle grade book that I had chosen for the month, Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. This is bloody fantastic. It is wonderful. We follow this girl here named Amari. Now she lives with her mother, and they're kind of poor, and her mom works at a hospital, works a lot of hours, things like that. She has a scholarship to go to a more private school to kind of help, just help with her education, but she's been getting bullied ever since she got there. Mean girls, they call her free lunch and make fun of her because she's poor, because that's so hilarious. And yeah, so she's dealing with this stuff, and also her older brother has gone missing, and Amari absolutely refuses to believe that he's dead, or there's anything like that. He's like, no, he's still out there. I fully believe that he's still out there. And what happens then is she gets this mysterious delivery, and it might be a message from her brother. And this starts Amari's journey figuring out this whole world of the supernatural that she didn't even know existed, and possibly her brother's connection to this as well. Like this bookmark says here, the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. And so there is this this bureau that is sort of, I guess a gateway between like the human and supernatural world, kind of Men in Blackish, but but not. It's different, but there, she finds out there are things exist that she didn't know, like were-dragons, and I can't think of anything else, of course. We're not going to think of it, all that kind of stuff. And magic does exist in this world, but magic is actually not looked as being good because of these guys here, the Night Brothers. They were magicians who used it for bad. So people that are that find a power of magic are kind of looked as like, she might be dangerous. So of course, as Amari is sucked into this world, she's like a junior recruit essentially to make her way into this Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. Wouldn't you know it, as she puts her hand on the crystal ball, she discovers that she is a magician. And so it just starts. We follow her through some trials as she's trying to make it, like I said, into this sort of junior program for this supernatural affairs. And again, she's actually finding herself being bullied here because there are like old families, like generational families that have made their way to this bureau. Like the Van Helsings are mentioned in here. They're like a long line of supernatural affair, people, and things like that. So she still is getting this kind of outsider almost, because she's just one generation. Her brother was pulled in through a scholarship, and then because her brother ended up being a really awesome agent, she was allowed to come in. If that makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but this is so wonderful. I am in love with this world that B.B. Alston has created. He has done just a stellar job of setting up this world where like I said, these supernatural things exist, Yeti, and like I said, the were-dragons, and yes, this magic. Oh my gosh, it's just so wonderful. And I would say if you're looking for a Harry Potter alternative, definitely check this out. It is going to be a series. I think book 2 will be coming out this year sometime, and I will be on it, doggone it, because I'm in love with this. I'm in love with Amari. She is vulnerable, you know, at times, but also she has sticks up for herself and has definitely found her voice, or is finding her voice of sticking up for herself. And yo, it's good. This was hyped up a lot, and rightfully so. It is worth every little ounce of hype this has gotten, and I cannot wait to continue on with this series. So if you're looking for a new middle grade fantasy series, oh gosh, jump on it if you haven't already. Yeah, so I was so excited. I just loved it. Loved it. All right. Excuse me. I then finished my short story read that I had scheduled for this month. She Said Destroyed by Nadia Bulkin. I posted a video talking about this separately, so I won't say much here, but I absolutely loved this. I loved it so much. Full of strange, dark, unnerving tales. Fantastically written. Oh my gosh. Get it. Get you some, because it's good. I loved it. And that's what I finished. So I mean, I had a good reading week, and I was I really enjoyed, you know, I enjoyed my reading that I finished. I'm still progressing through Dracula. I'm now up to, I think, chapter 14. Let me check my fancy ribbon bookmark. I'm up to chapter 15, so I'll read that today. I'm slowly making my way still through these Anne Sexton poems. Some of these have just knocked me out. They are so good. They're so good. Still making my way through The Watchmaker Filigree Street, learning a little more about this. And I have progressed a little bit more with House of Chains by Stephen Erickson. So this upcoming week I'll continue to make my way through this. I really want to get this finished like stat. So I think I said that last week, but maybe on this extra little snow day I will maybe get some chunks of hours to dive into that. We'll see. See how the week, how the weekend plays out. And yeah, I'm not really sure what I'll pick up after that, but this will be my main focus as far as I want to get this one finished. And I want to get at least through part 2 done for this, which is up through this yellow sticky note, before I kind of pick up anything else. And that's a lie, because I did start, I forgot, I started Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell. This was for the book club, the Midnight Library book by Kelsey over at Slime and Slashers. And y'all, that book is like super spooky. It is like scaring me. So I don't know that I can continue to read that one during the nighttime. That's gonna have to be a daytime read. This is playing to all of my fears that actually scare me in real life. So yeah, getting like the hairs standing up, reading that. So that's been pretty good. But I'm just maybe 5 or 6 chapters in on that. So I will need to pick up a new short story collection. I don't really know what I'm going to pick up next. I've got I don't know what I'm going to pick up next. I was thinking maybe something, but I don't know. I'll pick up something else, because now that I finished She Said Destroy, I'll need another daily short story read, 'cause I'm just enjoying picking up a short story every day. I've done that the past few months, and I'm just digging that. So I'll pick something else out, start something else, and that's it. That's gonna do it for me. Make sure I hadn't forgotten anything over there. Nice. It was a good reading week. I hope that you had a good reading week. Let me know what you got into last week. Did you finish some good stuff? I hope so. Hope you had a good week. If you're down here in this area of the this incoming snow and ice storm, hope you stay safe and cuddle up and stay warm. And thanks as always for watching. I'm always so appreciative, so appreciative of you taking time and hanging out with me. I always appreciate it. And that's it for this weekly wrap-up, so I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.